The chapter begins with Mukoda and his friends entering the dungeon. Phil tells him that the weak are always on the lower floors, and that most adventurers explore the dungeon and earn money by defeating monsters between the 10th and 15th floors. Treasure chests are most likely found on these floors, and the floors above them are of no concern. They then riot on Phil's back, who runs quickly to descend to the 10th floor immediately. A group of monsters confronts them, and Phil collides with them, passing quickly. While running, Phil steps on something like a trap, causing a spear to head towards them. Just as it was about to hit Mukoda, his dragon companion immediately saves him, and breaks the spear. Mukoda was surprised and says, "Aren't dungeons naturally formed? And these traps are man-made things." Dorrit informs him that the dungeon is like a living creature that lures humans with monsters that drop magical stones and treasure chests, intending to kill them with born monsters and crafted traps. The human corpses are then absorbed by the dungeon as food, contributing to the dungeon's growth. The traps are like the limbs of this living thing called the dungeon. During their conversation, a volley of arrows flew towards them. However, Phil used his magical arm to shield himself and his companions from the unexpected attack. Mukoda then remarked on the frightening nature of the dungeon. Upon finally reaching the 10th floor, Phil informed Mukoda that the enemies on this level were also not a significant threat. He identified the floor's boss as a venomous tarantula, and urged them to proceed to the boss room without delay. As they approached the boss room, they encountered a group of adventurers. Mistaking Phil for a dangerous monster, they were on guard. Mukoda quickly intervened, apologizing for the misunderstanding and clarifying that they were also there to challenge the boss. One of the adventurers, surprised to learn it was Mukoda's first time in a dungeon, explained the unwritten rules that adventurers followed. He detailed the first-come, first-served principle for engaging monsters, where the team that initiates combat is priority and rights to the spoils. Furthermore, other parties are forbidden from interfering in an ongoing battle unless assistance is requested. The rule of finders keepers also applied to any treasure chests discovered. Mukoda then inquired if another team was currently inside the boss room, to which the adventurer confirmed there was. A group of adventurers, ignoring the rules, rushed in to steal the spoils. After several hours, Mukoda and his companions were seen sitting outside the boss room, bored and wanting to enter. However, Mukoda advised them to adhere to the regulations. The adventurers finally emerged, carrying their loot, and informed Mukoda that they would not be proceeding to the next floor. They explained that they all had wives and children and were unwilling to risk their lives further. Mukoda and his friends then entered the boss room. Upon seeing the boss monster, Mukoda was terrified. Phil, his powerful Fenrir familiar, unleashed a mighty attack and swiftly defeated it. They collected the spoils, and Mukoda took the boss's leg, realizing it was a potent remedy for many diseases. Advancing to the next floor, they encountered numerous huge monsters, which Phil also defeated with ease. Afterward, Phil informed Mukoda that he and Sui, the slime familiar, were getting hungry from consuming a lot of magic. Sui then told them about a nearby open room that seemed safe and free of monsters, a perfect place to eat. They entered the room and found it to be a rest area filled with other adventurers eating and resting. Soon, the Ironwool mercenary party arrived and warmly greeted Mukoda, who remembered them fondly. This group had previously helped him leave the kingdom of Radzigor safely. The leader of Ironwool mentioned they had arrived in the city 2 days ago, and started exploring the dungeon the previous day. He then noticed Mukoda's new companions and asked, "Is that a baby dragon?" Mukoda explained that it was a pixie dragon at its adult size, and its name was Dora Kan. He also introduced them to Sui, explaining that he is a very strong slime. Mukoda then happily chatted with the group. Soon, everyone in Mukoda's party announced that they were very hungry. Mukoda told them he would prepare a meal for everyone to eat together. The Ironwool party happily accepted the offer, and they all began to prepare the food. One of his red-haired teammates from the party took out some black bread. Surprised, Mukoda said, "This bread looks very nice. Perhaps we should eat something that goes well with it." He then took out his heater to warm the food, while cutting the ingredients. He cut the bread into small slices, adding meat, potatoes, and soup to the meal. Everyone sat down and prepared to eat. After saying a prayer of thanks, as is the etiquette of eating, they began to eat with their right hands. As they ate, they found the food to be incredibly delicious, so much so that some began to cry from its sweetness. They ate very quickly, exclaiming, "This is the first time we've eaten meat that melts in our mouths like this. The flavor is very rich and deep, truly highlighting the sweetness of the vegetables." One man, who was crying, said, "I didn't expect to be able to eat Mukoda's food again. It's the best in the world." Everyone was talking about how delicious his food was and asked him what type of meat it was. He told them it was wyvern meat. Everyone was shocked and looked like they wanted to vomit, but they couldn't believe they had eaten such an ingredient, and that it was so luxurious and delicious. Mukauta reassured them, "Don't worry, we have a lot of it." He and his familiars had hunted it together. They are very strong and can do anything. As for their speed, it exceeds that of a rocket. Everyone finished their plates and wanted more because of how sweet the food was. Mukauta was genuinely happy and told them, "Eat as much as you want." After they ate and took a nap, the leader of the group said to Mukauta, "Listen carefully. We intend to explore this floor a little more, so we will part ways here." Mukauta told them, "All right, my friends, you must be careful. Goodbye." After that, Mukauta and his familiars descended to the lower floors, killing the monsters there until they reached the 16th floor. On this floor, Mukauta felt that the air was different from the first 15 floors. His familiar, the Great Wolf Fel, informed him that dungeons are like this, where sometimes the change is much greater. While they were wandering, Fel placed his foot on a stone, and suddenly an earthquake occurred. Mukauta and his companions were startled as a large boulder came rolling towards them. Mukauta ran in fear to hide anywhere. Fel asked him to calm down and not make any noise, and then used his strength to shatter the large boulder. At that moment, Mukauta understood that the traps here were more malicious than before. After that, they finally reached the 20th floor. While wandering there, Fel talks to Mukauta and asks him if he is surprised by their strength as they continue to defeat one monster after another, noting that they are very blessed. The Great Wolf interrupts him and tells them that he wishes to reach the depths of the dungeon quickly. Mukauta replies that he does not want to go there. Sui calls out to him and reveals something suspicious in a hole. When Mukauta looks, he finds a chest. He rushes over, very excited to examine it because treasure chests are an important part of dungeons. He didn't realize that finding a chest here would make him so enthusiastic. Before he can open it, Fel grabs him and reminds him that the dungeons lure humans with the ornamentation of treasures. He advises that Mukauta should look at it carefully from a distance. Mukauta proceeds to appraise it, and finds that it is a trapped treasure chest designed to release a poisonous gas upon opening. He realizes that if he inhales the poisonous gas, he will die. Mukauta collapses onto the ground and tells them that the dungeon is truly cruel. Fel tells him that it was a good choice for him to be cautious, as while the familiars are protected by their blessings, Mukauta only has secondary blessings. Fel then offers to open the chest instead. Then, the usual voice of the goddess Ninlil comes to Mukauta's ear and tells him, "Regarding the secondary blessing that I cast upon you, our blessings have compounded. It has become as strong as a normal blessing. It is rare for 3 to bless the same person. This means you will not get sick, and the poisonous gas will not affect you. Therefore, enjoy the dungeon well." Mukauta stands up and tells Fel that the intertwined secondary blessings have accumulated to become a single normal blessing. Fel tells him if Ninlil says so, then it must be true. Mukauta heads towards the chest. And when he opens it, a huge amount of poisonous gas comes out, but nothing happens to them. When he looks inside the chest, he sees nothing and becomes very angry, deciding to search for another treasure chest. They then arrive at another massive treasure chest. Mukauta is very excited to open it. As he approaches the chest, a screen appears, telling him that the chest is a monster disguised as a treasure chest. Mukauta becomes angry. Fel then tells him what to do next. A fate chest attacks the moment you try to open it, but given its size, it might be hiding something good. At that moment, Mukauta takes out his very strong sword, holds it, and tries to open the chest. Suddenly, a very ugly monster pops out of the chest, which terrifies Mukauta. He attacks with his sword and random strikes and finds that he has miraculously defeated the monster. He is very happy afterward. After a few seconds, the chest appears again. He opens it and finds jewels inside. However, his friends do not want any of these things. They only want to enjoy themselves and eat. After that, they descend to a new area and find a large space, a vast forest. They are astonished by this place. Fel asks Mukauta to ride on his back since there is something relatively strong ahead. They quickly rush into this large forest until they reach a strong monster of rank B named the giant killer mantis. But for Fel, it is very weak. He shocks it in 1 second and defeats them all. Mukauta is terrified by this power. Dora-kan and Sui become upset because Fel was the one who defeated them alone. They wanted to participate. Fel tells them that is not important. We should choose something strong. Mukauta finds them getting annoyed with each other. He tells them, "Let's distribute the roles. Each of you has a turn." They accept this. They continue walking in the forest, and a large black bear appears before them. Dora-kan defeats it. The wolf speaks, saying, "These butterflies emit a paralyzing poisonous dust and suck the body fluids out of their prey while they are alive." Tsuyoshi Mukauda replies, "They are extremely evil. Sui, be sure to attack them from a distance." Sui attacks the butterflies and succeeds in defeating them. She is happy that she has defeated them. Tsuyoshi tells her, "That's right. Amazing." Phil then tells them, "We are getting closer to the presence I feel. It's near." Tsuyoshi replies, "Hold on a moment, Phil. That strong presence is most likely the boss." Phil is surprised. Tsuyoshi tells him, "Let's have the meal before we fight, just in case. I want to use the online grocery service to raise my stats with some ingredients from my world." Phil replies, "We won't lose in our current state, but eating ingredients from your world is a good idea." They sit down to eat. Tsuyoshi asks him, "What do you think of the steak we had before?" Phil replies, "That's perfect." Tsuyoshi informs them that they will eat some Japanese Wagyu beef slices this time. "It would be bland if we only had that. We have roast pork marinated with lemon salt and green onion salt flavor, and we'll add some coarsely ground sausage. They even have roast duck with black pepper, yakitori thigh, and liver too. This should be a lot of meat. Then it would be wise to order some sandwiches for myself." Tsuyoshi serves the food to them and they eat it. Tsuyoshi finds the lemon salted meat and the green onion salted meat to be refreshing and appetizing, and they are both crispy and juicy. They ask him for more food. Phil says, "The food from your world is truly delicious." Dora-kan says, "This is the first time I've had some, but it was very delicious." Suri says, "It was very delicious, my lord." Tsuyoshi is happy to hear this. He then asks them, "What about our stats?" Starting with Phil. Phil informs him that his stats have increased significantly. Tsuyoshi asks Dora-kan, "What about you?" Dora-kan replies, "Woos me. Maybe I overdid it a bit." He asks Sui, then says, "Well, we are about to fight the boss,